Welcome to the first episode of Views from the Real. It's your host, Patrick.
And your host, Brian.
And on this week's episode, we're going to talk about Joker. Joker is a film about a mentally ill man who slowly starts to reach his boiling point, and we see that come to fruition. So I'm going to talk about some of the good parts of this film. I feel like the cinematography is excellent. The character development that you see is excellent. It is reminiscent of other films, but I feel like the fact that it would take the risk to go towards something so far away from the times we're in and so risky just shows like that the people who were involved with making this film, especially Joaquin and the director, Todd Phillips, that they really wanted to create something that wasn't just a film that people went to see because it was a memorable part of their childhood or something. It was really like, we want to make something great. So that I really like about the film. Also like the dialogue and just the griminess that it shows, that old New York look, because they shot it in the Bronx, and it really feels like 1970 something. So I like that about it. I also feel like the film, even though it's funny in ways, it's serious as well, but it's just like, it's like way darker than a dark comedy, but yet still a dark comedy in a lot of ways. So I like that about it. It brought an eeriness to the theater when you're in it. Like, oh man, this is kind of eerie. It's kind of like this shit is about to go down type of vibe. So I like that a lot. I like the message that it sends about, like, everybody wants to say this person's a monster, whatever. But then in that film, you get to see somebody actually develop into a monster. And you see that it takes a community. Like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. It's like in the movie, it's like it takes a village to create a monster. So I like that whole concept as well. What I did not like about the film was not really that I didn't like it. I guess the best way to say it is I did not so much appreciate certain things when it came to like the whole Batman's father. Like, it just was kind of weird. That storyline wasn't bad, and it was like whatever, but it was just kind of weird because it does throw a little loop. I did not like certain parts of him being so young or whatever. Batman in the movie, but at the same time, if it's done well, they could use that to their advantage down the road. And then I also liked how it was so good and it ended the way it did, is like a development of the character into Joker. But then it's like, if we don't get another film, it's like I would love that in a way of like it preserves this film, but I would kind of be disappointed because I want to see more movies like this. So that, I think, is the only hang-ups I have. But I'm going to swing it to my co-host, and he's going to give you his good and bad.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Joker movie. It was a great movie. Honestly, I think it was a movie that needed to happen for the superhero genre, especially. I felt like with all the Marvel movies or previous DC movies, a lot of movies weren't taken seriously. So with this movie, it was an opportunity to do more so a character study as opposed to a big CGI movie with action scenes and everything like that. And I've really appreciated that. I appreciate the settings in the late 70s, early 80s. I thought the music was really like dark and kind of haunting. Like it had this weird, eerie vibe, like not like full horror, but it had a really dark vibe that I liked. I also liked how the movie, it was very, like you said, it was kind of like a dark comedy in a sense where it's a very dark movie, serious, but at the same time, it has moments where it's funny as fuck. And I really enjoyed that about it. It was like a good experience in the theater. It wasn't just complete depressing state while I was in the theater.
Yeah, that was
I
pretty
say
dope.
honestly for the con. Well, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead.
Yeah, it was honestly helped up the movie. It gave us some levity. Uh, Honestly, the only thing I didn't like about the movie, I felt like it's just a personal gripe. That's how much I liked the movie and didn't see too much wrong with it. Is I just wanted more crime from the Joker. I felt like since he's the prince of crime, we were supposed to see crime. But I understand it's a character study of how we get to the Joker first. But that's the only thing I could say I would want to see more crimes committed, especially with the following that he got from all the supporters that came out in Joker mask in the movie at the protest. I would like to see him like in the criminal underworld working with them and they doing some crazy shit. But that's pretty much the only con I had with the movie.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, it would have been dope to see like a public killing, where
Yeah.
everybody's participating. I mean, it would have been nuts. And what I love about the film is that in a time where everybody's saying that it's so terrible before the film comes out, and then I'm watching, I'm like, I've seen way worse things.
John Wick 3 is like
Exactly.
1,000 times worse.
Yeah, it's like
Like this guy kills
me.
like 20 people in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, so it was like, way overblown. It was a great film. It came out at a perfect time because it just shows like no matter what the media is saying, they're completely out of touch with the audience. Like, this is just happening over and over again. They say these outlandish opinions about a film or a special of some sort, and then everybody's like, no, we actually want to see this. And speaking of that, this film has done major things. I mean, currently it is, the biggest rated R film ever, which is huge, I think. And it shows that people want to see something that took acting pedigree, like
People want to see something different.
that's true too.
Shit.
And they don't have something against someone putting their all into a role, And I think that people have got a misconception of that through other films and just all these big blockbusters that you see these days. But it's like, look at this. This is competing with, the Fast and Furious series and things of that nature. Like, it's competing with movies that everybody thinks that these are the only films that can get that kind of money. So that, I think, is a great thing for the future. It's going to impact not only the superhero or anti-hero or villain genre of films, it's going to impact blockbuster films in general, because it says, look at what you can do. And it also impacts, I think, rated R being something that we're willing to go out on a limb now. Like, we're willing to take this thing that we thought we only wanted to target PG-13 audiences with and do it rated R. And I think Deadpool, like, I didn't personally watch that movie, but I think that opened the door for that to a degree. I think the Joker probably wouldn't have been made if they didn't do that, but I think this blew open that door. So,
oh yeah, I think so too. I'm not sure if it's blown open the door, because at the end of the day, it's still like Batman. So you have one of the biggest comic book characters, if not the most popular. And you have like his main villain as, this character's main character. And I feel with that sells itself a little more than just picking, hey, we're going to make a Riddler movie. It's the fucking Joker. But I honestly do think it's going to open the doors. Hopefully we get more of these. A rated R Batman movie would be great. I do like how this movie is inspiring things around the world, where you have people who are sick of stuff and not tolerating it, whether it be in Lebanese or in Chile or in Hong Kong or just wherever you're at in the world where the government or maybe your society isn't treating you right. And you're just kind of sick of it. And I think it's pretty cool that a lot of people were out in protest with the Joker mask on. I thought that was dope.
Yeah, I think that that's pretty accurate. Like it goes hand in hand. Don't necessarily feel the Joker movie started this, but I feel that
Yeah, it didn't
the
start it,
Joker
but
movie
excuse me.
had the um it
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 was just mirroring
it was
society, life,
mirroring the
really.
moment that we're in. Absolutely. Perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
It really strikes a chord on what is currently happening in the world. People are fucking tired. They're fed up with so many things. Like, long list. But at the end of the day, it's nice to see that now it's like it's a V for vendetta in real life. Like people have a mask to
Yeah.
attach to their pain, to their suffering, to their frustration and anger. So that I think is just amazing. And it just shows that this film is so much bigger than it's led on to be. And it also creates a different narrative, like when we were kids, and growing up and pretty much till this day, it's like, if you're being bullied, tell somebody, and now it's like, if you're being bullied, fight the fuck back. Like that's the message that this movie sends. Now at the same time, some people say, oh, well, it's not the right way to do it. But at the end of the day, like I said, if it takes a village to raise one, it takes a village to create a monster, So, um, you know, you can't always expect people to just take shit. They're going to eventually say, well, it's time to be Joker. And speaking of Joker, I think Joaquin did an excellent job, and it's crazy. Like I watched the film twice, and watching it, to me, I need to go back honestly and watch Batman. What was the second Batman in the
Dark Knight?
Dark Knight, yeah. I need to watch Dark Knight again, but I just really feel like he did something with Joker that nobody else could do. Just like what is his name? Oh my God,
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger, yes. Just like Heath, but at the same time, it's just like this dude really poured. It's like you could just feel the pain that it's like, this isn't just acting. This is this is Joaquin. Like he's pouring himself into this so much differently. I feel like that makes me feel like this was the greatest Joker performance. But at the same time, like you were pointing out before, we did the episode, you were saying, because he is also doing a character study of becoming Joker, he's not really being Joker. So that's another thing too. Like he's just becoming him.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's like, I guess we could say he is the best embodiment of becoming Joker, but he is the only embodiment of that. But I don't think anybody could have done it better. But at the same time, we have to see him be the Joker if that ever happens, and then that should tell us more.
Yeah, I think there's only one actor that maybe could have one-upped him, and that was maybe Leo. But other than that, I'm not too sure. I think he. I
don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, Leo's a great actor, but I don't know if he could have done this better than Joaquin did. It's like.
I think he would have done his own take of this version. Like it wouldn't be like this. It would be different.
That's true. And it's possible. But I mean, I look at Jared Leto. Like Jared Leto is a fucking amazing actor. But that character was not where it's at. So never know. We never know because you never know. But it was like this was really built for him. And I remember when you sent it to me last Halloween or I think it was last year when they dropped the trailer. I mean, not the trailer, the teaser. And I looked at him and I'm like, I can see it. I can see him as the Joker. And sometimes, you see a character and then you're like, I don't know. But I could see it, and I never would have thought Joaquin Phoenix the Joker. And it's crazy because he really had to lose some weight because he usually keeps on a lot more weight than that. And it was like. That was a tough. Everything had to be grueling about doing that role, and the whole movie depended on you. Like, I think that's the
Yeah,
difference.
he said it was tough for him going up stairs when he just saw a flight of stairs. It took so much energy. He had to like hype himself up to do it. And I'm like, man.
Yeah, and then coming down and doing all that dancing. There's a lot of dancing in that damn movie, by the way. Like, this dude is fucking Chris Brown of the bad dancers. But it was like, I think more of the movie depended on him than anyone else. Of course, that's the name of the movie and it's expected. But I feel like because it's such a big film, that's what made it so much different than Heath Ledger. Like, Heath Ledger was a pleasant surprise. Like, it was like, damn, this is your movie. Like, it was more like, we didn't ask you to do all this, but thank God you did. And with Joaquin, it's like, you have to do all this. This is riding on you. So it's like that pressure, man. He's a freaking diamond out of actors because he had a lot of pressure on his shoulders to be the best character. I would say I love Robert De Niro.
I actually think he didn't.
You don't
I think he had less pressure. I don't want to throw that in. Yeah, I think he had less because he had Jared Leto who went before him. And if anything, like, he had two reasons not to feel as much, I believe. Is one, Jared Leto's wasn't, I guess, received so well by the fans or most people. It was kind of like split in half, like you liked him or you didn't. And I feel like if you have someone that goes before you, they're not thinking about Heath Ledger, so you don't have to get compared to him so much. It's kind of like, okay, what are you going to do? Because the last person wasn't so good, so it can only go up from here. So that's why I feel like he kind of had a little less pressure, in my opinion.
I can see what you're saying, but I think that I'm not speaking in terms of pressure for Joker. I'm speaking in terms of pressure for the movie and the type of role that he played, because remember, there has never been a Joker movie. Like, it's always been him being a supporting cast member, you know, in the movie. Like, I mean, so I think that's why I say that. Like, you had to be the center of the movie versus you being in the movie.
Every shot of it.
You know what I'm saying? And taking it over, that is exactly what Heath Ledger did. It was like Heath Ledger put pressure on himself, and Joaquin Phoenix had no choice. Like, it comes with the territory of you being the star of the movie. And then you had less to help you. Like, you didn't have any explosions or none of that. You had scenes where you were killing people with simple weapons like a handgun, not just a handgun, a fucking revolver, and using a knife. I think it was a knife or a pen. Which one was it? I can't remember. But so it was like he really didn't have like all of this at his disposal. Like the Joker, there was a lot of help. Like, he's out the side of a freaking police window, you know. Like, it was just a lot of stuff helping to me, like, sell that character versus he had to sell pretty much this character completely by himself. I want to speak on some of the other characters. Robert De Niro. I'm not going to say nothing long, but Robert De Niro as Murphy Franklin, it was excellent to me for what it needed to be. He played the role perfectly. He did not try to steal the show. And I know that that's really hard when you're...
He played his old boss's job in another movie.
What is it? What's that movie called?
Kings of Comedy.
Kings of Comedy. There you go. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, that was another thing. This movie did take from those films like Taxi Driver, Kings of Comedy, Raging Bull. It had that type of element. But I feel like because it's so many years later and it's such a different time cinematically, and you just look at the kind of movies that were popular at the time, this is much harder to bring to this type of audience and expect them to really be receiving of that type of cinema or whatever. So I think that's why I wasn't mad about them using those elements, because it was like, we haven't seen them in a long time, and you did great. And somehow it translated to a time when you wouldn't think that would be the case. So I liked him in it. Zazie Beetz, I feel like, she did her role. It was nothing spectacular or whatever, but it didn't take from the film. And I do feel like at the same time, maybe she was a little underused. And there's a little confusion there too, as well as what's real and what's not. I'm sure that's debatable. And the whole Thomas Wayne thing, like I was saying, Brett Cullen, I mean, he did good for what he was doing, but once again, another supporting. I feel like nobody took away from the film and nobody did a bad job. That's a fact. And he was able to do what he had to do. And you didn't have any of those moments that sometimes we have in good films where like, what the fuck is this guy doing in here? So that was great. Also, I guess the thing that I loved was how out of touch he was with what is like what society is like finds to be interesting or cool in a way, like he's so out of touch. And pretty much because it was so many years, I guess, of being like that, he was kind of like numb to that. And then you see him blossom into, I just don't give a fuck at all anymore. I'm not even numbing. I just don't care. I just am happy being the way I am. So I love that. I love seeing him transform into that person, the Joker. So anything else you want to add?
Oh yeah, no, I really enjoyed the movie, but I want to say I like the little shout out they did for Batman. I won't say what it is. It's a very small thing in the beginning, and
why won't you
we'll just
tell
say
us?
It'll be really dope. I feel like someone may have not seen the movie, and I don't want to spoil it yet. But in about a month or so, I'll talk about it. I won't care anymore. But nah,
so we will do a true spoiler alert update.
True spoiler alert. True breakdown. But nah, I thought the whole cast was great, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. It was a really well put together film. It's still in theaters. If you're watching this anytime between November and December, I'm sure it'll still be there. This was a great episode. This was our inaugural. And we hope that you will join us next time. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, share, and remember, Joker is still in theaters. Great film. Go check it out. I'm your host, Patrick.
Your host, Brian.
Good night.
You so amazing.